Hey everyone, you're listening to The Public Affair with me, Andrew G. I see someone different every episode, but do me a favor, keep it between us. Hey guys, it's me, Andrew G, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Public Affair. I just want to thank you guys again so much for all the love and support that you guys continue to show the show. We're going to be doing things a little bit different on this episode. I've got my dear friend, Kalyn Flores, here to interview me on this show to get to know a little bit about me more and for me to open up and be a lot more vulnerable for you guys. And there's a lot of unanswered questions, supposedly, that I need to answer. But before we do so, I definitely want to use this opportunity to thank Rogue Media Network. And of course, to all of you guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we want to give a shout out to just a few of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. This episode is brought to us by David Santabañez with Linear Real Estate, the #1 sales agent in his office. That's right, he's going to help you buy a home or sell your property. Make sure you follow him on Facebook at David with Alinea down here. Call the number on the screen for all your real estate needs. My boy David, you already know, is going to help you move into the dream home of your dreams, and he still remains the #1 sales agent in his office. I can't wait to be holding that sign with you, bro. Keep doing your thing. Y si habla español. David Santabañez, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to my girl Anika Armstrong with Pee-wee's Crab Cakes of Texas. Oh, sounds like dinner tonight, darling. That's right, serving the most authentic Cajun cuisine with a wide selection of signature crab cakes, pasta, seafood, and so much more, you guys. The top recommended is their Southern Fried Catfish Special, but listen, go for brunch, you guys. Go for brunch, get mimosas. Anything that she has for brunch is absolutely delicious at 108 Jim Drive in Hewitt, or order online at peeweescrabcakesoftexas.com. To my girl Anika Armstrong, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair, girl. Hope you're doing well. Of course, to Joseph Blancas with JB Auto Detailing, who provides mobile detailing for all of Waco and the surrounding area, promising 100% satisfaction guaranteed, leaving your vehicle brand spanking new and fresh, no matter what package you get, no matter how affordable you need it to be. He's still promising that satisfaction. Pricing and such at jbautodetail.net, and call them on the screen to book at JB, and follow on Facebook at JB Auto Detailing. To Joseph Blancas, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to Arturo's Frame, where Arturo Lleva de la Cruz, they do wood framing for houses and all remodeling, and they also will assist you with building a brand new house from the ground up. Hablan inglés y español también. Call the number on the screen for a free in-town consultation, and follow on Facebook at Arturo's Frame. To you both, muchas gracias por todo. Thank you guys so much for all you do for me in The Public Affair. And of course, oh my goodness, I can't go on without thanking Randy Orguino at Waco Decal Plug. He's a vinyl graphic artist and installer. Listen, he is perfect for anybody who is starting a business from the ground up and they need some promotion, they need their brand all over the place. Waco Decal Plug is definitely the person to call. Hablar español también. Call for free estimates with the number on the screen, or follow on Facebook and Instagram at Waco Decal Plug. To Randy Orguin, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this exciting episode of The Public Affair with my very, very special guest interviewer, Kalyn Flores from the Society. I'm going to be nothing but vulnerable and open for all of you guys and answering all those questions that you guys had. So stay tuned and enjoy. It's me, Andrew G. Let's go.
All right, guys, welcome to The Public Affair. I'm Kalyn Flores from the Society Salon and Spa, and today we're doing things a little bit different. I am actually interviewing the Andrew Gomez today from The Public Affair, so let's give him a warm welcome.
Well, I'm so excited that you chose this task. I don't know. Now I know how my guests feel when they're sitting on this side of the couch. Like, I am a nervous effing
Y'all,
wreck.
he was so nervous. This man had a backpack on, and we had to tell him to take it off.
Yes.
So I could record.
I don't know. First of all, no, I really want to thank you for being a part of this. And I know that this is a very special episode. And, you know, I feel like this tell-all episode has been needed for a while. A lot of people have a lot of questions.
Yes,
and
there are so many questions.
Yeah. And just like I asked my guests to do on the show, I'm going to keep it as real as everybody else has.
Y'all heard it
yeah.
here first. So here we go.
Yes.
We're going to jump right into it.
So,
you know what, Andrew, tell us a little bit about you and who you are behind The Public Affair.
I'm really just like your average person. I honestly, like, you know, I first of all, I want to thank everybody that shows love and support to The Public Affair. And, you know, they view me as like this Waco celebrity, right? And that's what I get told all the time. And my joke is always, I wish I got paid like a Waco celebrity. But I'm really just your average person. I love nothing more than going home, being in bed. You know what I mean? I love my games, you know, that I don't want to be bothered. I love brunch, you know.
He's made that very clear. He doesn't like to go out at night, y'all.
Don't like to go
down
out
for brunch,
at night.
but not.
Yes, I will go to brunch with you all day, but I really just, you know, I really feel like I relate to a lot of my guests in the aspect of that I'm just out here trying to make it too. You know what I mean? Like we're all really just down here just trying to get up here. And so I think the misconception about me is that, you know, I do have it all together.
Right.
You know, they're like, oh, you got the biggest podcast in Waco, which is a blessing. But I'm really like everybody else. Like,
right.
honestly.
And it allows you to relate to so many diverse
You can't get
people.
More real than that, though.
Yeah, you can.
For sure.
So with all that being said, like, tell me, like, how was your childhood? Like, what was life growing up for you?
Yeah. I grew up with young parents, I would say. I look at it in a different lens now where there's no way they had the answers to everything. I have a biological twin brother who I've not spoken to in 8 years, and which we can get into in a minute if you'd like, because I've not gotten real about that, but I will today. But childhood for me, my brother Jaime, he can recollect. I've shared a lot with him. It wasn't the best, I would say. I mean, my parents now at 32 years old, I know that they were doing the best that they could. You know what I mean? But at the time, I just wish that things were different. Me and my dad were not the closest. We fought like cats and dogs. I was very antisocial growing up. A lot of people don't know that, but I was very antisocial. I did not want friends. We moved to Texas when I was 15. My parents, we had to leave New York. They couldn't afford it. And we really came out here with nothing, to be honest. We came out here with nothing, and that made it hard for them too. And I just think that a lot of the ways that I was treated in the household, and again, I love my parents now, you know what I mean?
Right.
But at the time, I left when I was 18. I was asked to leave.
And we always feel like we know best anyway.
Right.
Growing up.
I just think that, without getting too much into it, because, I should get too into it.
And we will. There's, some questions.
There was a lot that just took place. I definitely feel like, and this might sound silly to say at 32 years old, but I definitely feel like my brother was favored in a lot of things. And especially the way that life turned out now.
And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that that have multiple siblings.
Yeah, well, for sure, yeah. But, I was just me and him. And I feel like, he was, I don't want to say the favorite, for lack of a better term, you know what I mean? But I definitely think that he had the better end of things, but made the wrong choices. And maybe me being, in the predicaments that I was in growing up, helped me make the right choices. You know what I mean? And put a better head on my shoulders. So there's some things that I'm grateful for. There were things that I wish could change. My dad, he was very aggressive growing up, very, very aggressive. So we were not close at all. I joke now and say that we're the same. so maybe that had a lot to do. Yeah, that probably had a lot to do with it.
Are you a lot closer now?
My dad and I are a lot closer
now. You are
now.
An adult.
Yeah, my dad and I, we see things, again, the same. I think that leaving at 18, again, I was asked to leave at 18. That was hard too. You guys, I had nothing. I literally had.
And both of your parents are here.
Yeah, they're here
with you, right?
Yeah, they're here.
I ran into your mom at Dillard's.
Okay.
Before, so yeah. So how was your relationship with your mother?
So I love my mom. My brother was arrested about 8 years ago. And I will definitely say that I think it put a strain on our relationship. I think that, she's a mother and her son does no wrong. And to me, your son did wrong. And we fought about that a lot. We did. We fought about that a lot. And I will say I don't see them often. I've made like the decision not to do so. I think that it was healthier for me to do so. I mean, love, you ever heard of loving from a distance?
And sometimes you have to just do what's best.
Yeah, you have to do that. And I think in this case, again, my mom is my mom. She's my only mother. She did the best that she could. But I just think that when my brother got arrested those years ago, that really, really threw a wrench in the family dynamic and what I was trying to build.
And do you feel like, you said, that she is your mother. If the situation was different and you were the one in trouble, would you... like feel that same way, like you would still want the support, or would you kind of want?
Well, the difference between my brother and I was that I've always been an accountable person.
Right.
I've always, like, if I do something wrong, I'll tell you that I did something wrong. He is a conniving, manipulating liar. And he did that with her, and she believed him because she's his mother. And I guess I see that aspect of it, but we fought a lot about it. We fought a lot because everything then became, it wasn't the public affair, and it wasn't everything that I was doing. It was, have you spoken to his kids? Have you heard from him? Do you want to talk to him? No, he doesn't exist to me. And I mean that 8 years later. I want nothing to do with him. I think that what he did embarrassed the family a lot. I think it was embarrassing for my parents, which, again, I know that they didn't have the answers to everything, but I think that what he did was despicable. And I want nothing to do with a person like that. Do you see what I'm saying?
We don't have to go into details on
you can
if you don't want to.
You can, well, people have Googled it because you can. The alleged charges were allegedly aggravated sexual assault to a minor.
Okay.
And we were not raised like that. You know what I mean? Like,
of course.
Even like,
I get
even
it.
even like me as a gay man, like everybody would automatically assume, because a lot of people that were molested and then they grow up and
Yeah.
then that we were never raised that way. Do you
Right.
know what I mean? That was never
And
took place in our house.
and this is going to
Hmm.
trickle into
Yeah.
some of my next questions. So
Sure. Sure.
we'll kind of wrap that one up
Okay.
real quick.
No problem.
But saying all of that, has your family always been supportive of your choices? Like you said, you
Mhm.
are openly gay. We
Yeah.
all know that. Have they always been supportive of what you chose?
Nobody, I will say, nobody in my family ever gave me flack for being gay. And I thought my dad would give it to me the hardest, and he did not. You know what I mean? And so, because my dad, again, we're the same. He's like the masculine man version of
Right.
me. You know what I mean? And so I think now they're proud of everything that I'm trying to accomplish and
Yeah.
accomplishing. But no, I will say that my family never like rejected me for being gay.
Right.
I did have an uncle, God rest his soul. I love Uncle Polo. I do. But he always gave the family shit for being gay.
Yeah.
But his daughter is like a whole man. And I love Yaneli. Shout out to her. I love my cousin. But it was just like the funniest thing ever that happened to him.
It's crazy how it works out, right?
Yes. But no, they never did that. I would definitely say that in all honesty, I don't think that I was supported in a lot of the career decisions that I made or wanted to make. I think, again, when I was essentially thrown out at 18, I had to I learned how to be in survival mode because I had nothing. I had I had my car with my clothes in it, and my best friend, my brother to this day, Jaime Gutierrez, who I love to death, took me in, and with his cousins and everything. And so I learned at that point, I can't depend on nobody for shit. And anything that I want done, I have to do myself. Whereas, again, we go back to my brother, everything was handed to him. Everything is given to you.
So you can definitely tell the difference between...
Yeah. And so when you get arrested and then the family is like trying to act like they're going to, gather money to hire a lawyer and bail you out, and I have to do something about that. Fuck that. I'm sorry. Like I was
get it.
very, very clear about that in the very beginning. And that's why I have no remorse. What you did was disgusting, and I never really talked about it openly, but
here we are.
People have already fucking look. You can look up anything these days.
You
know what I mean? Yeah,
and it's scary.
Yeah,
but with that being said,
sure.
Like I said, we know that you're gay.
Yeah.
Your family knows that you're gay.
Yes,
it's open.
Yes.
Have you always known that you were gay?
Absolutely.
So
from the womb.
From the womb that you knew.
Yes.
Like that's what I was gonna say. So at what age? So
yeah.
But if not, I mean, have you ever even been with a woman to know that that's something that you don't like?
Well, I can. You know how you like look at a man, right? And you're attracted to them, and you're like, oh, this is what I want. I look at women, and I don't feel that way.
Okay.
And
makes sense.
We joke about it all the time, like vaginas are like the grossest thing in the world to me, right? But I think women are beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but I know what I like. I know that when I look at a man that is rugged, and I've said it on the show, that is rugged and construction workery, and
we know your type. We know the type.
That's what I'm attracted to, and I know that I've been with enough men to know that I like men.
Okay.
And for me, I don't like the facade of. I believe in bisexuality. I do.
Yeah,
but I don't play with it either. Like I'm not gonna go.
You're not interested.
I'm not
in
gonna
women.
go try girls because people think I should,
or because it's cool.
I'm just not attracted to girls. I don't
Makes
sexually.
sense.
I've never been attracted to women.
So saying all that, you never had to come out. You
The hardest people to come out to, I will say, was my group of guy friends.
And that's what I was going to say. So were your friends accepting of it?
Yes, they were actually.
Or were they like, bro, we already knew?
Yeah, so it was like that. So, okay, again, shout out to my brother, Jaime Gutierrez, who I love. And he was getting married to his now wife. And, he was like, you have to come to Vegas to the wedding. And I was talking to somebody at the time. Mm-hmm. And we were like, we were having a thing or whatever. And I was going to invite him to the wedding, which I did. And and I've just had to tell him because at that point I already came out to my parents.
And I mean, what happens in Vegas,
Well,
so it's like,
for a side note, and I've said this on the show, me and that guy did not even have sex in Vegas. He made me sleep in my pajamas every day, that asshole. No, but
this was not how the trip was supposed to go.
But I also looked a lot different, that many years ago. But no. The very first person I told was my best friend, my brother to this day, Jaime Gutierrez, and he said, "You act like we didn't know. Like we would drink and make bets about it." And then there was another friend that I was close with at the time. Unfortunately we are no longer close now. But then I told him because we were just as close as Jaime and I.
Yeah.
And he acted oblivious, but he was like, I kind of figured, you know what I mean? And everybody was always very accepting. So I will say I never got the brunt end of just unacceptance, if you will. Yeah.
So, here's the juicy.
Kalyn, darling.
So,
first of all, can I just say it's so weird being on the side of the couch? And
I love it.
No,
okay.
Yeah.
But on a serious note, you always talk about the hot husbands and the soccer team. Like, I'm dying to know.
Soccer teams.
Teams. Okay.
Not the team that I sponsor, please.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Have you ever been active with any of the husbands or players from these soccer teams?
I'm thinking.
And we don't. I don't want names.
No. I will never drip. I will never drop names because I'm not messy like
drip
that.
or drop.
Yeah. Okay. Soccer team husbands. I don't think so. I might have tried.
So it's like a jokey joke when you're talking about the husbands and the straight men
okay,
that are
let me clarify.
undercover.
Because I recently I just had Emily Huerta on this show, who I love, right?
Okay.
Shout out to her. And I did say on the show that I am very much guilty of, and I've been open of, being a side piece and sleeping with men that were married, both gay and straight. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's not anything that I'm proud of now at 32 years old. I think at the time when I was 29 and started the public affair, I didn't give a shit, and I didn't realize the direction the show was going to go in and how big it was going to get. I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, this is what I do. You adapt and you grow up. And I will say that it's something that I'm personally coping with today. Dealing with that in my own way by way of prayer and stuff like that. And then, however I need to proceed with dealing with that, I will, because I've definitely, I'm not going to lie, you guys, and I've said it on the show, I've interfered in families.
And you don't want to be labeled as that.
I don't want to be labeled as that.
You want to eventually
I want to fall in love one day. And I know that karma, what goes around comes around.
It does.
And that's part of the reason why I'm scared to jump in a relationship, is because that I know that that's going to happen to me because I've done it so many times. And it's not anything that I'm proud of, but it's something that I've done and have to be accountable for. And so specifically to the soccer team, I don't think I've ever slept with any of them. No, I've never slept with any of them. Would I have? Yes. You know what I mean? Some of them I would have. But no, I don't think I've ever, because to me, that was always like a professional relationship, especially since I sponsor a team.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? And now, so I never really thought, no.
Maybe a line that you just
I have friends that, we've experimented and stuff like that, but that's neither here nor there. They're not necessarily soccer players either. So, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I would love to jump into more about your brothers that are your best friends.
Sure, yes.
So I know Jaime.
Yes.
And Mauro. Is it?
Yeah.
Is that
Mauro Maldonado, yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to them.
So much. I've heard so much about both of them.
Oh, okay.
Like, what have they done for you behind the scenes as far as the public affair goes? Just what have they been in your life to get you to this point?
Everything. Fuck. Everything. Like those guys, there's been a lot of times that I've wanted to like falter, you know what I mean? There's been a lot of times where I've doubted myself, and there's been a lot of times where I just thought like there's no means to justify the ends, and the carpet's gonna be pulled from beneath me. And those two guys were like my rocks, are still my rocks. They I always say they're the brothers that I always prayed for. Right, they're the brothers I always wanted. They're the friends that everybody deserves. Everybody deserves. And I don't know like what I did for God to put these guys in my life that just showed me what true brotherhood and friendship is all about. Loyalty, And
I know y'all give each other so much funny shit like on social media.
Oh yeah.
So like to see you so emotional right now behind them, it's intriguing
because what everybody, and especially them, and what everybody has to know is that for those two, I will scale mountains and like go to war with heaven, for that matter, or hell. And I learned something individual from both of them. So Jaime and I have been best friends since I was 15 years old. And with our friendship, I feel like acceptance was learned, because I'm sure I was his first gay friend. He's from a very small town in Mexico, where when I went, they were like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? What the hell did you bring to our town? And I know that he definitely was at the end of a lot of slander as it pertains to our friendship. And a lot of people were, spreading rumors about us early in our friendship. And I will say, never.
And you've got to be strong to be able to deal with the rumors and especially like, because he doesn't like the same things as you, and to be labeled
and that's what the hardest part about being friends. I will say the hardest part about being friends with them is to this day still, because I'm gay and they are not. They're married with children. And so with Jaime, I know that he dealt with that a lot in the beginning, and I thought that it was straining our friendship, and he never ever switched it up on me. And I think he learned how to accept me for who I am.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
and I watched him, because it's funny, our roles like reverse, because he was wild when we were like teenagers, and
Yeah.
now I am, and he's more reserved and a father.
Yeah.
And I love watching him become a dad and a husband, and his son means the world to me. JJ, I love that little boy. And he makes him call me Theo Andrew. And so it's beautiful. And Jaime was always he's always been there for me, no matter what. If I ever need anything, he would drop anything. So for the last 15 or 16 years, we've been brothers. He came in my life in a very special time when I needed it, because he's seen me at my lowest, Kalyn.
Right.
That guy has seen me be an emotional wreck to this. Do you know what I mean? And he's so proud of me. And I love you.
Do they ever get grossed out by you? Because your mouth sometimes is a little vulgar. Like,
yeah, they do.
Are they ever like, Andrew, stop your shit?
Yeah, they do. Especially Morrow. Jaime will watch an episode of The Public Affair and be like, okay, that was too much, so I skipped it. And then Morrow will just be like, quit your gay shit. But again,
I mean, at some point you have to be able to turn cheek.
I've learned to do that though. I've learned to just be like, I don't have to be that way with them. They don't just, they don't want to hear that shit.
No, they don't care.
They don't. With Morrow too, we just became friends about 3 years ago. So, with him.
But that became very close very quickly.
Very quickly. And it was so unexpected too, because with Morrow, I learned how to not judge a book by its cover. He's externally very aggressive, and a lot of people know him as a hothead, and he was always fighting, blah, blah, blah. When I first met him, we fast forward 3 years later, this is the guy who, when I was at my lowest, when he caught me at my lowest, rather than turning the other cheek, dropped everything to lift me up. He provides that tough love for me that I've always needed. You know what I mean? That I don't feel sorry for you. You're the guy that I know that
It's okay.
You're the guy that I know that always has solutions. So like, what the fuck are you like dragging ass for? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes I would take it like like I would take it like, God, why are you so fucking hard on me? You know,
or why are you so mean?
Like, why are you being such an asshole?
But you see it.
It comes from a place of love, and he's always just been there for me when I needed him. You know what I mean? And again, to him and his wife Leslie, who I love both of them. You know what I mean? I love both of them, and they've always been there for me when I needed them. But Morrow definitely has taught me a lot in our friendship. I think I've taught him a lot too.
Right.
Again, it all comes with acceptance, and I don't know that he's necessarily dealt with the same thing Jaime did in terms of like, oh, why are you hanging out with that gay guy? You must be fucking, da da da.
Right.
I know that I've received messages, and I shared this with him, and there was a time where I thought, oh, this is getting to him. You know what I mean? And he's gonna like.
You'd be surprised.
I'll deal with that sometimes. I deal with that anxiety where it's just like, they don't want to fuck with you no more, Andrew. They don't want to be your friends no more, and that's not the case. Like, I know that they'll always be there for me, and they're my brothers, and I'll always be there for them. And he's never turned it around. You know what I mean? Like, never switched it up on me neither. He's always been there for me when I needed him, and so. To Jaime and Morrow, like I love those guys. Like,
and people search their whole lives for friendships like that. To just have those people that bring out the best in you. I've been lucky enough to have those people in my life too. So I know, but I'm telling you that people search their whole entire lives for that. So you're lucky that you've had it for so long. Even
thank God for them. Honestly, both of them, because I really don't know that I would even be doing the show if it wasn't for the both of them. Like, I don't know like who I would be today if it wasn't for both of them. And to just both of them, I just want them to know how much I love them. And you know how like. Maybe you wanted to ever, like, maybe your kid wants to make you proud of them, right? Yeah. Or you always wanted to make the person in your life, like your parents, proud of you. I want Jaime and Morrow to be proud of me.
I think they are.
I do. I want them to. I want to be able to accomplish things and then be like, bro, look at my nigga Andrew. You know what I mean?
And I think that goes with a lot of people that know you and come in contact with you, Andrew. Just to see you, thriving out here, and to see like the moves that you've made in the community is super special. Like I came years ago, my first episode with you, and I think ever since we don't have to talk every day, but we've built a
Oh, for
friendship
sure,
that
yeah.
like when shit does happen, you call me and you're like, Kalyn.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whatever.
Yeah,
But
you're a good business friend for sure.
yeah,
You're definitely a good business friend.
and so I feel like you build different relationships with people,
Yeah.
and it works for you.
I've met a lot of great people in my lifetime, and there's been a lot of people that I was just as close with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with those two guys, they never switched it up on me. Those two guys, they always just provided that thing that I needed in my life to keep me going. Acceptance, tough love, all that shit. You know what I mean? And my brothers mean the world to me. My brothers absolutely mean the world to me. And for them and their families, I do anything. So everybody has to know that.
That is awesome. So as far as that goes,
Yeah.
I mean, I know you said you
made me cry,
day,
bitch. Fuck. You made me
I know
fucking
you
cry.
said like one day, you want to fall in love, you want to get married. Are like children? Is that something that you're like interested in having? Like,
I would like a daughter.
Just a daughter?
I would like a daughter.
Not a son.
I think it would be hard to have a son because I'm weird, right? Like I don't want a son that's gonna be like a little bitch. I want my son. I want my son.
What?
Yeah, I do. I want my son to be like a fucking man.
Yeah,
but that's what he has his uncles for, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't see myself as a punk bitch either, though. Like I really don't. I really don't see myself as a punk bitch. And so, kids and family and stuff. That's nice. I'm 32 years old right now. I'm married to the public affair.
And that's okay.
And my family lies within my brothers, Jaime and Mauro, and anything that they need. And so I'm okay with that. I'm content.
So do you have any potentials on the list? Are you dating?
Oh God.
Do you see anyone?
I'm gonna say this without getting too into it. Though.
Yeah.
I was kind of more or less involved with somebody for a while.
Entanglement.
I don't know about entanglement. More or less involved. I don't speak to them anymore. Nobody knows about that. Nobody,
and that's cool.
And that's fine. I talked to some people. There's one guy right now who like he's cool. You know what I mean? Like we'll hang out every once in a while, or we've hung out a couple times. But
So when you meet people and you talk to people, do you do it with the intentions of like dating and marriage? Or are you just like, hey, I'm just going to see what happens and where it goes and I don't really care?
It's hard to say. Like, obviously, I think that you shouldn't waste your time with somebody you don't think that you're going to end up marrying.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so...
Or just waste your time in general if you don't see a future.
But Kalyn, the problem too is that like, I'm one that falls fast though.
Do you?
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
What is your sign?
I'm a Cancer. Yeah. And so I fall... I'm clingy. I know I'm clingy. And that's a thing. But I'm also know I'm very aggressive too.
So it's like you're clingy, but you don't want to be clinged on too much, or you?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, dating is hard. I said it on the show. Well, I shared on the show that I was single, which technically I have been single my whole life. There were again that person that I referenced earlier. That wasn't anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the person that I'm kind of talking to now. I mean, he's cool. Like I see him as somebody that I can be.
Where does one find an Andrew? Like. If they were interested.
Brunch.
But only brunch.
Brunch. Oh God, I was on that fucking, and Mike told me to stop getting on that app, fucking Grinder, for a whole minute. I'm not doing that no more.
So you were on Grinder.
I was on Grinder.
Did you like meet up with people on Grinder?
I did.
Okay. Like dates?
Some dates, some just,
That's just what it was.
Let's just do this. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But that's part of the, there's a lot of married men on Grinder.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? And so if I don't want to be a part of that anymore, I want to get out of that toxicity. And that's really what it is. It's just people looking for a hookup. I've met some cool people on there.
I think that like, hence the name Grinder.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But no, I've met some cool people on there that, we became friends. You know what I mean? But there were some people that it was just,
you knew.
You know what I mean?
But all seriousness aside, like if someone wanted the chance to meet you or date you, like what would be an ideal first date for Andrew?
Bro, take me to fucking Red Lobster and we call it a day.
That's it.
Just take my ass to dinner. I don't even want to be out that late. Better yet, take me to fucking breakfast. You know what? I'm a morning person. If you say, Andrew, let's go to brunch or breakfast at a nice fucking restaurant, I'll go.
So do you go to bed early or you're just
I'm
in
bed early, bitch. Don't play with me. 9 o'clock. 9 fucking o'clock, 10 o'clock is late. I don't like. I really am not. Back in the day when I started the public affair, I was the fucking party. Yeah. I was at Club Junction 84 every fucking weekend. You know what I mean? Back when I could get in for free.
Was that like the Chica Sexy contest?
No, that was after.
Oh, yeah, that was like Alazan.
Yeah, that was Alazan. Okay. Yeah, but when I was on the radio and I can get into everywhere for free, which I'm sure
That is on our
Oh,
later
shit.
segment.
Yeah, we could talk about it. A lot of people have questions about the radio. But no, yeah, I used to be out all the time, 2, 3 in the morning, and now that just got old.
Yeah.
I'm building
Yeah,
building
for
a
me
brand
too.
here,
And
yeah.
I feel like I like to pop out every now and then and have
Yeah.
a good night, but me and my friends, we laugh because we'll be looking at each other yawning
For
like in the
sure.
club, and we're like, oh man.
For sure.
And I see now it's like nothing but young people.
Yeah. Oh, they don't know how to act. I even referenced, oh God, Marla's wife, Leslie. We went out for her birthday at Warehouse.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
watched your episode
Yeah.
With Ace and
Ace
Ashley.
and Ashley, yes.
And I heard you say, and
We
you were like,
did.
I'm ready to go.
Well, that's where she wanted to go, and of course I'm gonna go where she wants to go. It's her birthday, and I just was in an uncomfortable spot.
Yeah.
But no, and nobody was really like bothering us per se, but it was
Yeah.
the environment. People
Yeah.
just didn't know how to act anymore.
And
You know what I
sometimes
mean?
it's
Yeah.
the environment that can throw off the whole mood.
I can. I was like turned off seeing people get thrown out every 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
Welcome
Like I
to
was,
Waco.
But I don't know. Like I just to me.
So if you were like to go out of town, like what would a typical like night out
no,
for you? Or
I
you
don't
just
even
don't?
like going out of town. If you tell me that we can only go out and it has to be out of town, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I will say I dated a guy. I'm gonna give him a shout out because he was one of the potentials, and he'll laugh. Scott. His name is Scott. This white guy.
Oh, y'all, we got a name.
I will say shout out to Scott. I don't if he's in a relationship right now, by all means, I don't mean any disrespect because he doesn't even live in the state anymore. I think he lives in Massachusetts. But Scott and I were quite an item for a while. Like, just like seeing
Right.
each other, visiting when he was in town and stuff like that. He's this like dorky white guy. So definitely, but he likes
I'm sorry, Scott.
he likes crazy Latino Andrew G, right? He just, yeah. Scott, I drove out of town to see Scott. He lived in
Okay.
Round Rock, and we would go to brunch or whatever just to meet each other.
But-
He drove down here,
But in bed by 9.
and we didn't spend the night. We never spent the night. Yeah, it was never
So
nothing
Scott was very
Scott would come in the morning.
respectful.
No, Scott was cool. Scott would come in the morning, right? And then we would be at my apartment, catching up.
So you prefer
Yeah.
morning versus
I'm a morning
night
person. I'm a morning
activities.
person. Absolutely.
For all the activities.
At all the activity. Well, no. If you're gonna come to my house late at night, it better be within 10, because I'm not staying up for nothing.
And I'm not wearing my pajamas.
I tell these dudes all the time. I was like, if you're gonna come over to talk,
We ain't talking.
and then they don't come over anymore. So, no, shout out to Scott though. The fucking that guy right there. You asked the question. I could see a future with Scott. I could. Now again, if he's in a relationship, I hope you guys are happy. This and that. But Scott was like, a lot of people don't accept
You
me
better
for
get
my
that
aggressiveness. No, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's been so long. Like, that was a long time ago. So we still keep in touch though. On social media, I told him he was hot the other day because he said he's one of those that like fights for like, the council and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, is into like the
Opposite.
like, oh, I stood up at a fucking council meeting and everybody applauded me. I was like, boring but sexy, sexy. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Maybe that's what you need.
Yeah,
Breath of fresh air.
because he's different. He's different. He's again a nerdy white guy that has to play with cars, like fix fucking cars and shit. And I'm doing the public affair.
But that's still
Yeah.
like manly for you, right?
It
You
is.
like-
He's very masculine, and he.
so
he
you
was
say
just cool.
dorky white guy,
Yeah.
but you're not meaning like not masculine. He's
No, yeah, he's very masculine. He cuts the grass. I remember going
What
over
makes
one day.
him dorky?
Because he's nerdy. He's nerdy. Like he likes to fucking tinker with cars and shit like that, and talk about nerdy shit. Like he's just cool.
Okay.
I don't know. He's cool. Shout out to Scott Hume.
Well, we won't. I don't want to cut this short,
Okay.
but we got to go to break real
Okay,
quick.
no
and
problem.
We'll be back shortly with some more juicy gossip from
Here
Andrew G.
on the public affair. Fuck. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this exciting episode of The Public Affair. My very special guest interviewer, Kalyn Flores, who got me over here crying and shit. Okay, before we continue, I definitely want to use this opportunity to give a shout out to just a few of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. This episode is brought to us by Banda's Hauling Service with Julian and Banda. They rent dump trailers. That's right, you fill it up and they're gonna haul it away. They also do junk removals and tree brush removals and haul cars in and out of town. And now they're even offering roll-off dumpsters as well. Listen, I think those are perfect for when you're having a big giant party or you just have a bunch of trash that you're about to accumulate and you don't have a dumpster. they can do it for you. Book now at the number on the screen, the Julian Ana Banda. I always said that those people are going to be there for you when you need it. I always said that. Banda's hauling service. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to Manny Guerrero at Blue Star RV Services, a mobile RV tech who can fix all RVs, travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and so much more. Listen, he's going to deal with the warranty company, so you don't have to deal with all that, right? Just pay him a service fee. Him and his team are super professional. They're going to go out there and fix anything. If you have a food truck as well, because a lot of my friends have food trucks, they always break down. Call Blue Star RV Services. He's got you. Manny Guerrero, follow on Facebook or call the number on the screen to Blue Star RV Services. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to Myra Rosales with Strike a Pose Photography, a digital photo booth business, perfect for parties, private events, corporate events, and so much more. It's super fun. It's convenient. It's easy. It's simple. It's exciting. You want to make memories for your party. Call Strike a Pose Photography. My girl Myra Rosales with the number on the screen, and follow on Facebook at Strike a Pose Photography. To my girl Myra, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Oh, of course, to J Petal and Poke with Junior Fuentes, Thomas Robertson, their entire family. Oh, they're so delicious. Oh, excuse me. Their poke bowls are delicious. Their poke bowls are delicious. Japanese crepes and poke bowls. They also have handcrafted Thai-rolled ice cream for dessert. You can choose from a menu item or be like me, create your own because I like to be in control. Download the J Petal app. It's super easy. It's convenient. Locations on University Park Drive and Hewitt Drive, and you can order online at jpetaltx.com. Junior Fuentes, Thomas Roberts, your whole family. I love you guys. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode. Of course, to Sid Rodriguez with Elite Barbershop located on Hewitt Drive. You can call them on the screen to book or download the Squire app. Walk-ins are welcome as well. They've got Marcus Guerrero, Chris Reyes, Santos Cordova, David Rodriguez, Isaac Chavez, Clint Fletcher, and Isai Reyes. Over there making you look as snackish as I have for more than, I think, like 180 or something episodes of The Public Affair. I can't remember, but they've been in it since the beginning. Sid Rodriguez, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. All right, guys, we're going to get right back into it with my very special guest interviewer, Kalyn Flores. I'm so excited that you guys are watching this episode. Thank you again so much. Let's go.
All right, guys, welcome back to The Society Takes Over The Public Affair. We have Andrew G here. My name's Kalyn. Oh, no, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Can I redo that?
Yeah, you can redo it.
Okay, do I even have to say my name again?
Whatever you want.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
redo it.
Okay.
All right, guys, welcome back to The Society Takes Over The Public Affair. We are working with Andrew G right now, getting all the juicy
On my own
gossip.
show. First of all, Kalyn, you're doing an amazing job. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for being just so straightforward with the questions. There's a lot that I've shared so far.
Yes.
I don't know.
And thank you for being so vulnerable. I know, like, sometimes that's,
Yeah.
like, the hardest part.
Well, I have to be because I expect that from my guests when I'm interviewing
Right.
them, and I want them to be in a place that's comfortable to do so. I don't want them to feel judged, and if I gave you anything less, that wouldn't be fair.
Right.
That wouldn't be fair for the show. And so I'm so grateful again that you took on this task of interviewing me on my show.
I
It's been
appreciate you letting me.
requested.
I
Well,
think-
it's been real quick before we continue. You know, there was a lot of people that said, when are you going to get interviewed on your own show? And it was finding the right person. And Kalyn is just a boss ass bitch who she can do anything that you put in front of her. So I kind of wanted to give her the duty of, like, you interview me. Let me see what you got. And it's going great.
I've had to research. I've had to research on this man.
I cannot believe, I'm excited to know what the fuck you tried to research on me.
We'll get to it in a minute.
Yeah,
You're gonna
I
be
know you
like,
can just Google. Yeah, okay, let's go.
But-
okay.
More importantly, like, how long have you had The Public Affair?
So The Public Affair has been going on for about 3.5 years now.
Okay.
So it'll be 4 years in July. I announced it on my birthday, July 3rd. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so what made you get started with it? Like, what was this? I mean, obviously, as much
Yeah.
as it's grown up, this was not your intentions.
No, not at all. I've always been told, because I would do like a lot of lives. I started on the radio. I
Mhm.
worked for Power 108 for 7 years, KWPW 107.9. Shout out to my radio mentor, Chrissy, who to this day, I love that woman.
And I want to know what happened with the radio station, because I know that you didn't leave on
it was not
the
the
greatest
best
of terms.
No, it
I
was
know
not.
at the time, you had a lot going on
Yeah.
with the radio station, and you jumped in full, and you were so excited
I
when you
was.
got that
Yeah.
position.
I was.
That was your full-time job when
It was.
when I first met you.
Yeah.
That was your full-time job, and that's what you did. Like, what was the fallout? Why, like, for so long you have kept private about that,
Yeah,
and
I
why?
have. I kept private about it because I didn't want to be déclassé. Like, I didn't want to be trashing people who were my friends. I lost a lot of friends. I know that, business is business, but we were also friends. And there was a lot of things that were done behind the scenes that I didn't appreciate. I think the radio career still would have been going if it wasn't for The Public Affair. But I wasn't willing to give up everything that I was building for somebody else
To sacrifice.
Yeah. And so I think that became a problem. And I think that, unfortunately, the entities started clashing. And so I have to be careful with my words, right? Because a lot of it.
Well, Well, and this is in
Yeah.
no way.
No. That's the thing. Like, I'm at a point in my life. Like, if you would have asked me 3 years ago, I would have bashed them all. I would have said, "Fuck this person, fuck this person, fuck this person." And to this day, we don't speak.
And that's okay.
Yeah, we don't speak. There's one that I probably referenced on this show quite a few times, but again, would rather not on this one. But there were just things that took place behind the scenes that I wasn't fucking with. And
when you're asked to
Yeah.
sacrifice your own,
yeah, there was a lot of things I probably can't talk about contractually, right? But there were things even in contract that I was not fucking with, and there were things that was just kind of like intrusive. Do you know what I mean to this? And this had nothing to do with you. And so when it came to just the other people involved, I think that they weren't interested in building Andrew G, the personality. And I think that now looking back at it, a lot of those people who I thought were my friends doubted me, doubted Andrew G, the personality, doubted,
or maybe
hated
the fact that you were a personality all in itself outside of the radio station.
Yes. And I'm going to keep it official. Like, we would do like our radio remotes, and
you've done it for me.
Yeah, I've done it for you.
You were the first and only person that I would want to do any remote for any of my businesses.
There were people in management, I should say, that were like, "Don't ever book Andrew for a remote. Don't ever let Andrew go do the remote. Andrew's not. Don't book Andrew. He's terrible. He's this. He's that." But it was always people like Chrissy who was like, "Come with me." You know what I mean? Shout out JC King too. He did the same thing. There was always people like them that are like, "Come with me. We're going to teach you." No, Andrew should do it. You know what I mean? Like they always, people like her put me in the forefront, which is why I'm always very grateful for her, because she's a veteran and she could have been opposite. I met some really mean people in radio.
Right.
I met some horrible people in radio that were not nice to me, that did not want to see me elevate. But I think that when Andrew G became the personality, it became an issue for people. And I think that those people, it was the same people that were doubting me. It was the same people that were trying to silence me. It was the same people that were trying to keep me in the shadows.
And when the public affair became such a public affair, it became an issue. Do you feel like there was jealousy?
Yes and no, right? Because when it comes to Power 108, I want everybody to know that I'm always going to be grateful for that experience. Everybody doesn't get to wake up and be on the radio. Do you know what I mean? It is a stepping stone. My dream was to be on the radio. I was going to make this full time, which I did. And I did it. And once it wasn't going anywhere, then we start the public affair. But I can't say that they were jealous per se. I just think that when, how do I put this? When things started taking off, maybe they were like salty about it.
But maybe just not happy for you.
Maybe they were just like, damn, but this is the person that we doubted. And now we can't.
Look at him
Listen,
shining.
no, I'll say some of them were on the show.
And that's
you
cool.
can't view them. You can't view them anymore because now they're on private. But, but no, some of them were on this show. And those were the people that were doubting me, then wanted to be a part of this so bad. But when it was no benefit to them, oh, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
And so it did end in bad terms. I can't really get too into what I think happened, because I will say this. It's not a matter of if things blow up, but when things blow up. I don't want the entity that I'm building to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And so I will say this too, though. And man, look at Jaime de la Ley and I do not fuck with each other. And I've said it on the show. We had the biggest falling out of all of us when I left. But I will always credit Jaime de la Ley for giving Andrew G an opportunity on the radio.
Right.
I will always credit him for, giving me that shot, that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
The way things ended wasn't the best. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm never going to take what that man gave me, which was a shot at a chance. Do you know what I mean?
Kudos for that. Because it takes a lot to be able to still be able to applaud someone who will not applaud
always
you.
going to give somebody their flowers no matter what. And, and the only reason why I name drop him is because people love to come on the show and fucking do that, right? and so they and people know. But the thing is with somebody like him, I will say that I will always be thankful for that opportunity. I just wish things would have ended different. Yeah. They didn't have to end the way that they did. I think we need to have a conversation. I'm in a point in my life right now where I want to have a conversation with certain people. I would love to have a conversation with those people from the radio station that I had a falling out with. There was an old friend who I referenced on episode 6. I would love to have a conversation with him, because I'm not in a point in my life right now where I want to stay mad at people. we're thriving.
Yeah,
I'm
and
evolving, and I've just
it gets
things,
old. And
yeah,
honestly, it's not. It's almost draining for you.
it is.
Not they don't care. They don't,
Well,
or,
I think some people might be open to it. Some people have not been open to it, which is okay. And I just see things such through a different lens now. And again, shout out to my brothers Jaime and Mara because they help me do that. They help me be the bigger person. They help me stay above the fray.
People like that in your
yeah,
life,
they're like, you don't have to be going on your show fucking trashing these people all the time. Like that shit. What the fuck, Andrew?
And speaking of people on your show, you've said you've brought some of these people on your show
yeah,
before.
yeah.
Like, do you have certain criteria?
No, not at all.
That you allow, because it's been all over the place. I mean, we can admit we have people that are very known.
Yes.
And we have people that,
like, who is this?
Yeah, where I have to watch and be like, I'm confused.
Yeah.
So how do you find and how do you reach out to these people and decide like, hey, I want you on my show?
When I started the public affair, and because I have this joke, which is kind of true though, there's like this society of people in town and work in media that really just put the blinds over. You know what I mean? People's faces or their eyes, and like this is what we want everybody to think that we are, and I've encountered that to this day. When I started the public affair, I wanted just authenticity. That's all I wanted something funny. I wanted something like, I'm a child of the 90s. Everything was allowed. You know what I mean? Everything, nothing was no holds bars. Like, you could joke about anything, and I wanted that. I wanted to invite Timo, whose fucking song was on Mortal Kombat from episode 1. You know what I mean? Kutis from episode 3, who was my radio mentor, another one of my radio mentors, who was so known on Lale and took me under his wing and was like, nah, you're coming with me to the club. You know what I mean? I wanted to know about his career. Then we get like somebody who you don't know, like Adrian Rodriguez from episode 4. He's a drummer. Now he's a drum instructor at Waco High. You know what I mean? The singer, Joey Size, like even Noni from episode 9, the boxer. I was like, this would be cool. Like, have this masculine ass boxer, and then now him and his wife Precious, they're like,
I know, I love Precious.
I want them both on my fucking show.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, they're just so. I just wanted an episode that could relate to everybody. I wanted everybody to watch an episode of the Public Affair and say, I fuck with this. You know what I mean?
So do you feel like sometimes when you bring these people on and after you're done and you're like, that was a flop. Like, I shouldn't have brought them on. This is not interesting.
Mike, where you at, Mike? Save me.
But honestly, I mean, because as a business owner, and you're a business owner, that sometimes you have to sit back and be like, this is probably not the best decision for my business.
So let me just say this, and even with the episodes that I have 2 episodes that you can't view again for the radio purposes. I don't regret any episode. I know that when I book somebody, it's like, okay, maybe my audience, they're probably not going to fuck with this one too much. You know what I mean? But the people that watch it are going to be fucking with it. So those 200 or 300 people that watched it that week, that was for them. You know what I mean? The 1,000 people that watched this person, that was for you guys. So it can get to you, Kalyn. I had to learn that real early on. Those numbers can fuck with you.
Oh yeah.
Those numbers can fuck with you, and
especially when you're in the business of numbers.
Exactly, and so
because you don't make money, you don't.
Right, exactly. And so those numbers can fuck with you. But I always have to remember and tell myself, I invited this person on for a reason. I invited this person on for their peers to see it. Do you know what I mean? And so, yeah, there's definitely some episodes that I've recorded. Like, okay, but no, because then, right, Mike, there's some episodes that we've recorded where we're like, oh no, this one's not going to do as good as this one. And it fucking skyrockets out of everywhere. Right. And then the one before that is like, what the fuck? What happened?
What's good? And
yes, you know? Yeah. And so no, I for the record, I don't regret any single episode that I've ever recorded. There's been some where it's like, oh shit, the numbers are low, and then they just shoot right back up. So,
and with that being said, where you're like, people, it messes with you mentally. I mean, the comments underneath them. I know that my episode got comments. I've seen other people that I know episodes get comments. And I know that you're really good about like removing them, but they still will mess with you. So when I ask you this, do you feel like they're just haters on there? Or like, do you feel like the people that you're bringing on the show kind of can bring some negative criticism?
Both. Because even I, to this day, and my joke is if I go sit down and take a piss, somebody's gonna be pissed off at me.
Right.
I've been ridiculed on social media. You know what I mean? Behind the scenes. I've definitely had people say some of the most heinous shit to me or message me and, just either gay shit or, this and that, or, oh, your show's gonna fucking die because your guests are all boring and blah, blah, blah. And You know, I've had...
But you're still watching it.
But you're still watching it. And, you know, some of the guests, too, like, oh, why'd you invite this bitch? And why'd you invite this guy? And blah, blah, blah.
And with that being said, I know there's one in particular that we've talked about. And he had some stuff going on publicly.
Okay.
And you still support him to the fullest.
Oh.
And that's kudos. I don't know him personally. Okay. I don't know about the situation too much. I just know that I've read some things online.
Yeah.
And what makes you still be so supportive of him and his business, despite there's been multiple people that have came to you and said, hey, this person is no good.
Right.
And
there was also multiple people that I asked for proof and they didn't provide it. And so when I say that my loyalty is unrelenting, even let's just say, right, like, let's say that he did do that. Let's just say hypothetically, like he was a big thief in town, right? Like, let's just say that this and that and the other. For me, as somebody who is my friend, do you throw them away or do you guide them and you teach them?
Right.
I saw in that moment a lot of people who are like, oh, you ain't no loyal bitch. You know what I mean? Or you are a sellout. Because for me, I'll go, and I tell my brothers this too, I'll fucking walk through the fires with you. And if you did something wrong, I'll counsel you. I'll teach you. I'll tell you
We're going to learn from it.
We're going to learn from it. But one thing I won't do is turn my back on you. And so in that particular instance, I'm talking about a man who I did not know, called me and said, I fuck with your show so much. I'm a business owner. I'm going to support you no matter what. And then when he was going through all that stuff, even told me, I'll still pay you so you can keep doing your show, but don't do my advertisements. See, that's not how business works.
Absolutely.
I'm not doing that. And people can say what they want to say, but I know that for a fact that you're a good person. And I'm not going to be involved in any of this malarkey. I'm sorry that you went through that.
Good people still make...
Yes. Listen, it's like I reference, let's toss it back a little bit. I referenced my brother Morrow. 3 years ago when I met that guy, if you would have told me 3 years ago that we were going to be best friends today, I would have told you you're fucking crazy. Right. If I would have judged the book by its cover and I would have listened to everybody else, we wouldn't be as close as we are today. But I took a minute to sit down and really get to know somebody.
And I think sometimes having a best friend means that you are opposite. Because if you're just the same,
yeah, for sure.
Oh,
yeah, complete opposite. But no, but it's just a perfect example of when I say that he taught me not to judge a book by its cover. He taught me how to just like really be loyal. Because if I would have listened to everybody and said, oh, no, he's a liar, he's aggressive, all he does is fight, this and that, I would have been like, I don't want nothing to do with that.
Well, more importantly, if you listen to everybody, you probably wouldn't have anybody on your show.
Exactly.
If we're technically speaking.
For sure. And so when we throw it back to the person that you were, Joe. Yeah. When we throw it back to Joe Vera, who to this day is my friend. To this day, I will support him if he ever needed it. It was unfortunate to see him go through all that. And I knew there were people who stuck by him. It wasn't just me. People just chose to attack me because my platform, right? But
you're on a different level.
Yeah.
So if they could attack you,
listen, there were people that even went as far as to spread rumors about me because I was friends with him, and that hurt. There were local entrepreneurs, business owners that spread. One in particular that I can always recall. To this day, I mean, I would love to have a conversation with that person. And say, do you think that
I hope that you can one day get all these conversations done on the public affair.
We can talk about it anywhere. I got a whole platform to do so, but it was just shitty to see how many people really, really just turn the knife. I don't kick somebody when they're down, especially when you do good by me. And there was a plethora of people who didn't understand that, but the ones that did understand it, I fuck with to this day.
We're in a generation where if you're down, you got about 10 people just ready.
They want to kick. I'm not like that. If somebody does good by me, I will do good by them. That's just the way this works. And again, even if the fucking hundreds of people that were messaging me, if they would have provided the information that I asked for, like, show me. They didn't. Then I would have said, bro, what you doing? Like, what the fuck?
Or, hey, like, what can we do to fix this?
Like, exactly. But that wasn't it. And then also, I was also trying to mind my fucking business. Let me mind my business. You know what I mean?
And it didn't. What I love the saying, like, what someone else eats doesn't make you shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like, I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do in your personal life. Right. Like, I don't.
I'm running a podcast. That man has children. You know what I mean? And shout out to him too, because he is doing good now. I saw him at Warehouse actually. It was so sexy watching him throw those people out too. That motherfucker. Yeah. He's the bouncer. He's the bouncer.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what?
It was so sexy watching him throw people. I've always told you I thought he was hot. No, he's doing good now. That particular instance really let me see how ruthless people are.
Oh yeah.
And
sure.
I will never join the fray. I am an individual.
Well, kudos to you.
Thank you.
So with all of that, let's kind of like just switch it up a little bit more. So over the last maybe like what year, 2 years, you've really been working out. I know you go to Monica.
Shout out Monica.
Yeah, we love Monica.
Yes.
What was your reasoning behind losing all this weight, getting in shape?
Okay, so when I was, oh God, go look at my old episodes, bro. Holy shit. The one episode I love watching, Jose Garcia's episode, you can see the poor buttons popping off. Matthew Ordonis, when he was here the first time, who I love. I look like a big giant snowball with him. And so I met Soko Soccer Academy, Dominic Gutierrez, Ariana Gutierrez. I met them and we were just talking about, hey, we're just trying to promote our business. Can we do it on your podcast? It was just that. I went to Soko Soccer Academy just to because I didn't know what the fuck indoor soccer was. Like I didn't know what the fuck, you know. And that's actually where I met my my brother Mauro. That's where I met him over there. You know, we were friends on social media before that, but it was like, hey, you're that guy. And so anyway, that was just a fun fact. He said we have morning classes. Like working out.
You heard morning?
Yeah, well, okay, I can get up at 5 a.m. And he was like, you know, come by and just check it out.
Right.
And I did. I woke up one day and was like, I'm just gonna go do it. And he wore my ass. Shout out to Dominic, bro. He wore my ass to a bloody pulp. Do you hear me? And you know, Mauro and shout out to Mauro and Jay, and I can't recall who else was there at the time, but they were all fucking just like athletes, Olympians, you know, just, you know, jumping about. And I couldn't even fucking jump rope.
Right.
I couldn't even run around the building. And so I knew, and this is no gay shit, I'm being for real. I was watching them all play soccer. First of all, they were all very kind to me. That's where I met Israel Sanchez too. Shout out to Lulu, Jose Santana, all of them. They all came up to me, knew who I was, right? Like, oh, you have that podcast, blah, blah, blah. And I was watching them all and they were like, oh, they're very fit. You know what I mean? George De Leon too, his fucking fit ass. And I was like, I want to look like these guys. I want to look like these guys. I don't want to be like these guys. I just want to look like these guys. And maybe there was around the time too where I was just getting out of like my old group of friends and, you know, there wasn't the best relationship after everything happened. And, you know, with me. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to start like whatever here. And so then I was going to their afternoon classes as well. And they always told me, if you want the soreness to go away, you got to keep coming back. If you don't come back, it's going to fuck you up. And so, yeah. And so I just kept going back, Kalyn. That's it. I just kept going out. Shout out to Soko Soccer Academy because that's really where it all started for me. And to this day, we're still partners. I help them, you know, I advertise for them. They do a lot for me. I coach the soccer teams, coached by Mauro. And so, you know, I feel good.
Well, while we're on that, you started competing in like Festivus.
Oh shit, Monica.
But wait, you beat your best friend, right?
Let me tell you about that. For real. I didn't fucking Monica. Shout out to her, Monica. First of all, let me just give my props to Monica. The fact that she can take several teams to Festivus and train us all just ruthlessly for months. God bless that woman, because I know that that's got to be a difficult task, and her team, we placed. Yeah, Mauro was on a different team this time. He was with our friend Aaron Alvarez, shout out to him. And I was with Hector. Hector, me and Mauro were a 3-person team at the first Festivus, okay? So anyway, Monica just kind of partnered us or whatever. I really think as much as they gave us the first place, right? Because it was really just us two. There was no other people. Mauro and Aaron fucking ate, dude. Do you hear me? I really thought they took that shit. And let me tell you something. The person that carried my team was fucking Hector. We did get first place. Congratulations to us, right? But Hector definitely carried my team because I was on the struggle bus that day. I don't know what the fuck was going on. But Aaron and Mauro really, really did their big one at the fucking Festivus games. And I really thought they were going to win. And so I told Monica, I was very open with her. I was like, I feel like we got the pity vote. You know what I did? I feel like we got the fucking pity vote because I knew that we were neck and neck, but I really thought they fucking took it. I really did. So, you know.
Was that you just being hard on yourself?
No, I mean, I knew that I could have did a lot better at Festivus. And I was disappointed in my performance because even with the strength portions, I was slacking, and I was fucking wrecking on strength. I'm strong, you know what I mean? And so at the game, and so when they announced them in second place, I was like, oh, and let me tell you something. Morrow hasn't let me fucking live it down. Morrow does not let me live it down. I'm trying not to bring it up all the fucking time. Okay, he doesn't, but yeah, I really thought they won. I really, because I don't, it's like even with the Waco Awards, like I hope I win because people really like me. You know what I mean?
It's so crazy that you just said that, because I'm literally getting to that.
Okay.
So crazy.
No, but yeah, no, we did.
But does any of that working out in Festivus, does any of that go with the fact that they call you Chicken Man?
Bitch.
I mean, I've been dying to know for years. Why do they call you Chicken Man?
Bro. Fuck you. Do I look like the Chicken Man from Toy Story 2? Do I look like Al's Toy Barn? Do I? Why do people say there was a joke? It was a joke that somebody started a long time ago. And then Morrow played that bitch up to no avail, and tells the kids from the soccer team that, and they laugh at me, and they made a meme of me side by side.
It was on, I believe, our last episode with me and Christina.
Oh yeah,
it was on the front, and you were like, "Who changed this?"
Yeah, that was Allison. Shout out to her. She's moved on. But yeah, Morrow, please, in the comments, explain to everybody why you continue to call me the Chicken Man. I would love to know. Do you think I look like Al's Toy Barn? Do you think I look like him?
No.
No, you sure? Okay. I'm not going to lie. Some of the comparisons, I'm like, oh, fuck y'all, bitches.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been dying to know, and I was like, man, I have to ask.
That's just been like a running joke. And somebody, I can't remember who exactly started. I know Martin Rodriguez made one time. I love him at Tatuado. And Marl just kind of like adopted it, and now it's like his thing. And and so he just, fucks with me all the time.
So, of course, it's that time of the year. It's Waco Awards.
Okay.
I know last year was your first time winning in that,
my second time.
The second time.
Yes.
But you were there, because the first year you weren't there.
Yeah.
So it was your first time winning and accepting your award.
Yes.
But you had one hell of a drunk speech.
I was a fucking mess.
So tell me, what was going on in your head?
Okay, honestly, I don't do well under pressure. I really don't do well under pressure.
Y'all, he's been texting me for weeks already.
But especially in like competitive nature, right? And so I know with the Waco Awards, and I've been very open about this, and no disrespect to anybody, but they've been known to, if I can just get you to vote for me so many times and I don't have to do anything, right?
Right.
And so for me, like, I work hard on this podcast. I want to give myself those flowers. I work really hard behind the scenes, and I want to be able to win that award because of that, not because I begged everybody to vote for me.
Right.
And so, and that day, the first year when you texted me, because I think you were one of the first people that texted me.
I did.
I was like, oh, fuck, I won. I was at Soka. I mean, I went with like ripped jeans and shit. And then the second year, I was in bed all day. I was a nervous fucking wreck. I don't know why. And I just started drinking. I went to Putters. Started drinking.
And we already know, he's told us he is not a night owl.
No. And so I was at the fucking, and I remember calling Morrow and Leslie that night. All fucking night I was calling them. And I remember even telling them, I was like, please let me sponsor the soccer team even if I lose. Like, and they were like, bro, what are you talking about? You know? Right. And so shout out to Juliana Resendez too, though, because she was there with her girl. And I kept she made me sit next to her. And I was like, do I just need to go home? Do I just need to leave? She goes, baby, stay right there. Okay. Just hang out, take a drink. And I was okay. And then they called my name and I won. And
you're like, shit, I gotta speak.
Well, I was just emotional. And Kalyn, the reason why I know that the Waco Awards get so much flack, right? But the reason why I'm so grateful that I won those accolades, because baby, you can have your daughter write on a piece of fucking paper with crayon that I'm podcast of the year, and I'm gonna hang that shit up on my fridge. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'll take any accolade. You should. And so for that, it means a lot to me, because I still, to this day, won't ask people to vote for me. I want them to see the public affair on the ballot, and I want them to say, oh, wait, yeah, this podcast deserves it because he does work hard, because and then, that's why I want to win that award. And so the fact that I've done that 2 years in a row really means a lot to me. And I can't say the same thing people have said about the city where they don't feel like they're being supported. I feel like I'm being supported 100% by Waco. I really, really do.
Because, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I do. Mean, I feel amazing about it. Yeah.
I mean, it has its ups and downs.
For sure.
And there's I speak with don't speak for every business owner, but it's hard.
Yeah.
It's tough. And, you know, people think that you have it all together, and
Right.
they can look at you and think that, man, this man's got it going on and
For
stuff.
sure.
But how is it behind the scenes of the public affair? Because this is your job.
Yeah.
Like, for a long time, you did have a job that
Mhm.
that helped you when the public affair wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how does Andrew able to juggle and manage, you know, financially, because this is a bill in itself.
Yeah, for sure.
And people don't understand that.
Yeah. So I don't talk to the only people I really talk about finances with are my brothers. I really like I've never really liked talking about
and me a little bit.
Because you do my taxes. You do my taxes, which we're gonna have some fun on fucking taxes this year.
I know.
Bitch.
I've had to coach him.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun because all this.
But he would call me after the first time, and at first he didn't let me do them. He was like, you know what? I'm just gonna see, and I'm gonna let you go. And I was like, talk to you later.
Yeah.
He called me within an hour.
Came right back.
And he's like, hey, I need you to do it.
So I don't necessarily I'm very open with my finances to Maro and Jaime.
Right.
Like those are my brothers and I feel comfortable enough to do so. I'm like everybody else. So thankfully the show is supported by sponsors, local businesses. Shout out to all of them. I've had over 50 entrepreneurs and businesses in the 3 years that I've been in doing this show.
And that shows a lot about you.
Yeah.
Not just about the show.
Well, I'm grateful for that too. And, you know, they really love the advertising that I do for them. So that goes back to the public affair. Mm-hmm. I work a regular job.
So you do work a regular job.
I work a regular job. And, you know, I work an 8 to 5. And then anytime that I'm not there, I'm doing this. You know what I mean? And then I took on sponsors.
So this is not just... this is a passion for you.
This is everything for me. The public affair is everything. This
in
show
hopes
changed
that
my life.
One day you don't have an 8 to 5 anymore.
I mean, yeah, you know,
or do you think that you enjoy the 8 to 5?
First of all, I work.
Mm-hmm.
I can't ever see myself not working.
Mm-hmm. I
just grew up in a household where my parents never went without a job. I watched my dad work 2 jobs at one point. You know, my mom always worked nights. I know that I will always be a person.
And we're in a different time and place to where you have to. I mean, most of the time you have to be able to, you got to have an OnlyFans, 8 to 5, a freaking side job, a bar job.
I will say too, because I mean, I took on the soccer sponsorship this year. And I even dabbled in Uber a little bit. Which is,
I see so many people that are doing like Uber and DoorDash.
I dabbled
and all this stuff.
I'm not fucking with DoorDash, but I Uber. Everybody that gets in the car knows who I am. It's so great.
If I got you as an Uber driver, you should do like a live Uber podcast.
But as far as staying afloat, Kalyn, I'm just like everybody else. I'm out here just trying to make it. This show has completely changed my life. Completely. Made me see things differently. I couldn't be any more blessed to have it. Rogue Media Network to Mike and Corey and everybody who's been involved, Mason, even Allison, who's moved on to other things. They have been so supportive of this podcast. Mm-hmm. They have been very just like, you free reigns. Listen, last year I was on 4 or 5 podcasts that either didn't get aired or were deleted because of me. And they have always just given me the floor to just be like, you do you. Mm-hmm. We support this podcast 100%. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this network that really gives me the freedom.
And it's amazing that you built the connections that you have.
For sure.
That they last forever.
That's so great. And I met some amazing people on the show too.
For sure.
The guests that I've had on this show, I mean, shit.
Yeah, I mean, I tune in all the time. I tell you,
thank you.
Even if I don't comment, I'm always watching. So I'm proud to see how far you've came.
Thank you.
So in conclusion, is there anything that you feel like I have left out that you would love for people to know about you, or maybe anything that you would like to clear up?
Clear up. No, I think first of all, the beginning, you had me fucked up, girl. Like the first half, you had me fucked up. No, I want everybody to understand that I've encountered people that work in the same field as me, and they may have taken my maybe advice or anything as something different. Like I'm being like, you know, oh, you think you're better than us, so you think that you're gonna come out. You know, I want everybody to know that if you ever wanted to be in podcasting, media, anything of the sorts, I want to be the same way that my peers were to me, which is a guiding light, which is like a mentor. You know what I mean? And so I want to be able to give people constructive criticism and advice for that. No, I think I've got more of the public affair on the way. Like I said, I've got some exciting episodes on the way, and I have actually booked my last episode of the year.
Awesome.
And then I will say, I think soon we'll be taking a break. I don't mean a substantial break. I'm talking about a few weeks. Then I'm coming right back. But, it's important.
You have something up your sleeve?
I'm going to be closing the year out, God willing, with an episode that I think will be the most vulnerable, heartfelt episode I think we've ever put out. I'm so anxious to record it. And so you guys stay tuned for that. But no, Kalyn, I mean, I'm good. Do you have any other questions for me?
I think we touched everything, and I just want to tell you thank you for having me.
Of course.
And thank you for always trusting me
to
do things for you and always, treating me the same no matter what.
Yes, of course.
And y'all heard it here. If you are in the podcast
realm,
and you're interested in learning, or maybe just want to drop in, Andrew is the guy. He knows it all, and we just want to tell you thank you for tuning in, and stay tuned because there will be a lot more from the Public Affair.
Thank you, darling. Yes. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that exhilarating episode of The Public Affair. I hope I answered a lot of your questions. Big shout out again to Kalyn Flores with the Society for coming and being my special guest interviewer. I hope you guys got to learn a lot more about me from behind the scenes. I'm just really grateful to be doing this podcast. I'm really grateful for all the support that I get. And to all my rocks, my friends, you guys mean the world to me, to Rogue Media Network. Thank you guys again so much. Before we wrap up, you guys, I definitely want to use this opportunity to give a shout out to just a few more of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. This episode is brought to us by Soka Soccer Academy with Dominic Gutierrez and Ariana Gutierrez. Located at 3304 Franklin Avenue, they offer teen, small group, and individual skills training with elite skills training as well, with pros like George De Leon. Open plays on Mondays and Wednesdays for ages 16 and older. You can also follow them on Facebook at Soka Soccer Academy and on Instagram at Soka Soccer 254 to find out when those open play dates are. The Public Affair is also a very proud sponsor of the Soka Soccer teams, coached by my brother, Mauro Maldonado. Coach Mauro, congratulations to you and your team, bro. You keep doing your thing. Keep your head up, and I'm so blessed to be a sponsor of you and the kiddos, bro. Thank you so much for that opportunity. Of course, the Hummingbird Party backdrops and decor with Ana Limones. You can call for all party decor, including beautiful bloom props, giving an extra flair to your party or event. A number of wooden backdrops and so much more. She's going to make sure your party stands out, your event stands out, your business stands out. Just call the number on the screen. Call Ana Limones, the Hummingbird Party backdrops and decor. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, the Brothers Roofing and Remodeling with Jesus Sanchez from Mart, Texas. He's a small construction business from Mart, specializing in general roofing needs and so much more. Listen, protect your home from the crazy elements of the Texas weather with his high quality and affordable work. You can follow on Facebook as well, and call the number on the screen for a booking. Amongst the roof jobs, he'll make make sure your house is standing tall with Brothers Roofing and Remodeling. Okay, thank you so much to Jesus Sanchez for all you do for me in The Public Affair, and of course to Jeffrey Monreal with Boyle Box and Audio Home for all your LED needs and auto accessories, installation of stereos, door speakers, and audio systems. He also specializes in building custom subwoofer enclosures and so much more. Look, a jack of all trades from South Waco. He's going to make sure that your car looks and feels the way you want it to. Your one-stop shop to get everything done in one roof. To Jeffrey Monreal, thank you so much for all you do for me and The Public Affair. To everybody that tuned into this episode, I truly appreciate you guys. Again, I really hope that you enjoyed this. I've got more of The Public Affair on the way with some very, very exciting guests that I'm excited to share with you. Again, to Kalyn Flores with the Society, I appreciate you, girl. Thank you for taking on the task for me to be your first interviewee. But don't forget to always keep it between us. Is that it? Fuck, shit.
How was it?
That was good.
You
I thought it was good. Yeah, it was good. Oh, fuck me. Is that Monica? No. Is that who you were doing? No, shit.
Hey, we're recording the second half right now. I'll call you when I'm done. This has been my partner in crime.
Girl.
Okay, bye.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.
Frozen, heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hey, I'm Zach,
And I'm Mike.
and we have a fantastic new podcast to tell you about. Bros, Foes, and Heroes. It's the two of us looking into the world of comics, breaking down some characters that you may have never heard of, and some that are just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so Zach comes up with a character each time, and I go into it just completely blind. I don't know who this person is or what their abilities are or anything, and basically I guess we kind of go over their origin story and just some of the ridiculous stuff that maybe, especially Golden Age stuff.
Oh, Golden Age stuff is always the best, and we will make sure to highlight all of the shenanigans and just absolute weirdness of everything.
Yeah, that's right. So subscribe today and follow us on Instagram at Bros Foes Heroes.
And if you don't, I know where you live. Not really, but please subscribe.
Bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hi, I'm Hank. You might remember me from a show called King of the Hill. Check out a King of the Hill rewatch podcast. These boys ain't right, but they are funny. Find the podcast anywhere you get your podcasts or at roguemedianetwork.com. I tell you what.